information of SDGs. So what does SDG stand for? It actually stands for Sustainable Development Goals, as known as the global goals. So people usually refer to SDGs. If you want to refer to SDGs, do you use the left photo or do you use the right photo? Can you type in the chat, left or right? And underneath the 17 goals, there are actually 169 targets that you can look into, which I will show you how do we look into later on.
Thank you. VP Fiko, Organizing Chairperson from JCI West Sumatra, Vice President Guantar, Organizing Chairperson from JCI Muar. My favorite person, SG Prince Sarmiento, as Organizing Chairperson from JCI Cebu Sinulog. Thank you. Distinguished member of JCI Medan Executive Committee, Pak Philip and the others, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to have all of you in this event applying SDGs to your project. I thank JCI for its decade to work to rally young people around the world. This event is crucial for the achievement of sustainability development goals. Many projects have been accomplished all around the world in the name of SDGs, but the impact is minuscule. Today is an opportunity for us to learn how to apply those goals in our project and create a positive change. So thank you very much, Ms. Yuki Wong, for her contribution in developing the youth within this organization. And I thank all of you for attending this event and supporting the work of JCI. Together, we can achieve a better future for the world's young people and uphold the core promise of SDGs, to leave no one behind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Presniko, for the wonderful speech. And let's begin the training now. Okay, so the stage is yours, Miss Yuki.
Hello, everyone. How many people do I have in here right now? Around 16, okay. Let me kickstart our training today and I will share my PowerPoint. Can you guys all see it?
Yes, it's quite clear.
Okay, perfect. So some ice breaking first. So I want to know who are you and how many years have you been in JCI? Please type 1 if you're a new member in your chapter, or maybe 1 or 2 years in membership. Please type 2 if you have been in the chapter over 3 years. Let me know each other first. 1, okay, please continue to reply. For those who have just entered the room, you can kindly mute yourself. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I have a spread of 1 and 2 actually. Mostly 2. Okay, second question. Have you ever done a flagship project or a large-scale project in your chapter or in national board? If you have not, you're still exploring around, can you type 4? What is 5, Willie? Why are you typing 5? Okie dokie. I think I should have more responses for 3 and 4s. Come on, people, let's wake up. I know you have had your dinner already. So seems like it's more of a number 4. So before I kickstart my training, I would like to introduce a little bit of myself. My name is Yuki Wong and I'm from JCI Hong Kong JCITS. A little background about my chapter, my mother chapter. It's actually the first female chapter in Asia Pacific and the second female chapter around the world. And we are currently the largest female chapter in Hong Kong as well. For our full members in Hong Kong now, we have around 100 ladies from different professions, different age. And I actually joined JCI since 2016. So it has been almost 6 to 7 years right now. And I started in my chapter with a very simple post doing the editor of snapshots, which is our publication. And then I moved up in my chapter from director, vice president. I'm very lucky to have SDG Pioneers to be one of the projects that I've done before, and actually know a lot of you in SDG Pioneers because I was the vice chairman. I was chasing you everything with the submissions and your homework and stuff. And then last year, I got back to my mother chapter and I was the vice president for business affairs. And this year I am assisting my president to be a good president. So my role is a presidential assistant. So to kickstart again, may I ask if anyone has ever applied SDGs in your projects? If yes, please type Y in the chat room. Has anyone ever applied SDGs in your JCI project? Why? Okay. Any more? Any more? Perfect. Level up my question. I will randomly pick someone to tell me what was your project and what was the SDG goals involved. May I have Philip? Because I'm not sure where are you from. It's just Philip. Is Philip here? Is Philip here? Can you introduce me your project name and also the goals involved in the project?
Philip.
Philip, calling for Philip. Where are you? He replied me, but he's not opening his mic.
Philip,
Maybe he's shy.
Yeah. But I don't know what to say.
You said you have applied SDGs in your project. So what was the project that you did and what was the SDG involved?
Maybe Kartini can help me. I just know my project name, the Stairway to Entrepreneurship. The project, sorry. Stairway to Entrepreneurship. And my project is to level up the small medium enterprise people in Medan.
Mm-hmm. And which goal was it involved in?
Cool.
Or
Today,
you can call for help as well.
I don't know what goals, but today I want to learn. My LP, can you help me?
Okay. Anyone wants to help Philip?
He is chairman for JCI Rise. We appointed from Medan, national program. So he is the chairman.
Sweet. Later, I will explain each and every SDG, so you will get to know what goals actually it's involved in, okay? So moving on, let me give you some dictionary information of SDGs. So what does SDG stand for? It actually stands for Sustainable Development Goals, as known as the global goals. So people usually refer to SDGs or global goals. And it was actually set by the UN in 2015 to call for action to end poverty, protect the planet. And these goals are supposed to be done by 2030. And before SDGs, there was something called MDGs, Millennial Development Goals. And if you search on Google, you will see Millennium Goals are actually weaker goals than global goals. And actually we have progressed quite a few milestones. So now we are moving on to SDGs. So for the SDGs, it's actually a global citizenship thing. We work along with government, business, civil society, general public, and even for JCI, we also put a lot of effort inside. And now I have another question for you guys. If you want to refer to SDGs, do you use the left photo or do you use the right photo? Can you type in the chat, left or right? This is a very important question. Do you use the left one or the right one? Oh, everyone is so scared. I want at least 5 answers. It's okay. It's just a 50-50 answer. You can either type left or right. Come on.
I
Come
don't know why it
on.
looks the same for me.
It's actually the same, but there's one logo difference. You can look to the top. For the
Oh.
left one, there's no UN logo. For the right one, there is a UN logo.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a failed designer. I cannot see the detail. Okay.
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 right and 1 left, and 1 with a condition by Prince. So our correct answer is, if you are using SDGs in your local organization project, you should use the left one, not the right one. The reason why is because for the right one, it's only used by UN entities. So SG Print is completely correct. When we are doing projects which we are not UN entity, we use the left. If we are an UN entity, we use the right one. So for example, you got a project you bid from UN and you're actually doing the project for UN, then you will be using the right one. If you are just being a very generous person or a generous chapter that wants to do things on SDGs, then you'll be using the left one, okay? So make sure in your future posters, I do not see the right one. I only see the left one. Next up, I will teach you guys how to download the correct SDG materials. Can you guys open your Safari or your Google Chrome to type this address first? This URL. This is the website that you can download all the communication materials of SDGs. And then I will also show, let me put this into the chat room for you guys first. Maybe it's easier in that way. Oh, perfect. Thank you, dear. Okay, back to my slide. So this is a communication page that you can check with all the guidelines, and I will teach you a little bit how to use it. When you go down onto the middle of the section of the website, you can actually see that there are 2 sections that you can download the SDG logos. One is for UN entities and one is for non-UN entities. And for every project and any project that you do in JCI, you need to click for the non-UN entities one. And you can also download all the SDG logos one by one. You don't have to Google it and having a very bad resolution. You can actually download it here. On the bottom level, there is download 17, SDG icons web for print, and then for UN entities and for non-UN entities. So in that case, only the one on the left are the ones that you should download, and on the right one, you should not use. And this is how it looks like when you download the icons, and it will be in high resolution, either for print or for the website usage. Okay, everyone got the knowledge of what is the correct SDG logos now. And I will move on to the introductory sessions for the SDGs. Everyone know that we actually have 17 SDG goals, but actually for the 17 SDG goals, there are 5 Ps above it, which the Ps are peace, planet, people, prosperity, and partnership. And they are the main goals and the main sectors that UN actually want to target on. And underneath the 17 goals, there are actually 169 targets that you can look into, which I will show you how do we look into later on. So first of all, I will talk a little bit about how the 5 Ps are divided. The first one is people, where the respective goals are 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that I have highlighted some of the main points of people, which is to determine to end poverty, hunger, and also fulfill people's potential in dignity and equality. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second of all, it's planet, which the respective goals are 6, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So it's mainly to protect the planet from degradation and also support the needs of present and future generations. So you see it's 5, 5. And then moving on to prosperity, it's more of the high-end stuff, which they hope to have all human beings to enjoy prosperous and also fulfilling lives. And it's in harmony with nature. And the next one is peace, and their respective goal is 16, and to help to foster peaceful, just, and inclusive societies which are free from fear and violence. Last but not least, this is the most important goal in the SDGs, which is partnership. And the obvious goal is partnership for 17, partnership for the goals, which means that if everything above that I've spoken about, people, planet, prosperity, and peace are fulfilled, and we can actually work together with different stakeholders, for the government, for the civil society, for the normal people, and everyone working together. So I will provide firstly, I will provide some case studies and examples that I've done before. The first one that I will be talking about is the project that I've done last year when I was VP for my mother chapter. And I actually organized a female entrepreneur award at a Asia Pacific level. And we actually had 11 local chapters across Asia Pacific joining us. And we also invited JCI Medan from Indonesia. We invited M24K and also a few chapters in Philippines as well. And we had 14 supporting organizations, corporate sponsors, judges from different chapters and also different places. And basically for this project, what we were doing is we hope to establish Asia Pacific entrepreneurial network and community, and also provide resources for the female entrepreneurs, and also foster business development and opportunities. Last but not least, also to reward the distinguished and outstanding entrepreneurs as leading example. And for our timeline, we actually had a few events. First of all, in March, we had our opening ceremony and also our workshop one, which our target is on the social media marketing. And we also started the nomination at that time. And then moving on in April time, we did our workshop 2, which is an APAC Business Info Day. And we invited guests from 7 countries to talk about how their taxation, how their legal system works. If you're a foreign person and you want to invest or open a company in other places, how do you open it? Do you need a local shareholder to share the company with you? What is the minimum capital that you need to put? And that was like a hackathon style APAC Business Info Day. And then moving on, we had a workshop 3 to talk about what is SDGs and how to apply SDGs into business. And we had our closing of nomination and judging period. Then we have our award presentation. So this is briefly my project. And the upcoming question would be, if I have done the above things, for example, rewarding the female entrepreneurs, also conducting workshops, having the social media marketing workshop, APAC Business Info Day, and learning SDGs and also sustainability, what were the goals that I was targeting in? Take a guess. You can type in the chat room. Goal 5, yes, of course. Goal 8, yep, correct. What else? Okie dokie. Can I invite Stephen to tell me why did you choose goal 8 and 9?
No, it's goal 8 and goal 9 since there is collaboration with the JCI the chapters to come up with like they can do more. If they're gonna focus on business, they can really grow the economy and like learning the structures and make more businesses and innovation for all the their improvement could really improve the other aspects, like not the economy and the industry.
Okay, moving up next, Kelvin. Can you tell me why did you pick goal number 3 and 4?
Hello. Because
Hello.
I think if we have a good health, we can do a lot more on the other goals. And for number 4, quality education, with giving people education, I think also can solve a lot of problems too.
Okay,
Yeah,
SG
thank you.
Prince, why goal 5?
Goal 5 because it pushes gender equality, and as we all know, society sometimes discrimination among women. So if we can empower these women to being able to have their own businesses and being able to achieve and being able to be successful, then we can achieve gender equality.
Perfect. Last but not least, VP Katini, why 17?
So, why go 17? I think because I see that in that event, there are lots of partnership between not only the female chapters of JCI, but also I think between the other organizations that related to this female empowerment business woman. Yeah, I think that's all from me.
Okay, perfect. So let me let you know what are the final outcomes that we actually chose. The first one is quality education, providing education to the female entrepreneurs to equip them to become a better entrepreneur, of course. Hello, Teddy. Can you help me mute Teddy now? Okay, perfect. And then second of all, it's goal number 5, which is gender equality, as we are promoting female entrepreneurship. And actually, globally, there are 1/3 of the female entrepreneurs in the world. So we hope to gather these people together and so they can achieve more. Number 8, decent work and economic growth, of course. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities, of course. And of course, number 17, partnership for the goals. And upcoming next, I will be giving you some homework and I will show you how the homework is being done first. As I said, we have 5 Ps, 17 goals, and 169 targets. Have you ever tried putting the targets into your proposal and really tackling onto the targets? So I will first demonstrate how the targets are done in my project last year. For example, goal number 4, we have 4.4. Goal number 5, we have 1, 4, 5, 5A, and 5B, respectively to my project. Goal number 8, 8.3, and 8.6. Goal number 11, 11C. And goal number 17, 17 is 15, 16, and 17. So at this time, can I invite my dear VP to put everyone into free breakout rooms? And I will give you 15 minutes for the breakout room to find a project for you guys. It can be one of the local projects in your local chapter. And then you identify the goals related to your project and also list out all the targets related to it and put it down in the below Google Doc.
All right, hold on.
And at this point, you can also promote your local chapter's project a little bit as well, of course.
Hey, Yuki, is it okay if we let the participant choose the room instead?
You just put them inside lah.
I
Just shuffle them inside.
Hi, Yuki. Is it okay if I just make into twins?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm not sure if there are, because I only know that this SC Single and this Medan have that flagship project.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
All right,
You can
so
also
yeah.
put yourself inside then.
Okay. So shall I move you into one of the rooms?
I will move myself inside. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay. So are you going to share any, how to say that, any slides after going to the breakout room?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, it's about the stunting, and then it's apa gizi buruk. Gizi buruk apa sih? Tahu ya? Oke.
Apa?
Malnutrition.
Malnutrition, yeah, malnutrition. And in number 4, in number 4 about the quality education, our target indicator in 4.3.1, its indicator tells about, let's check. The indicator number 4, it's about the youth with an age range of 15 under 24 years can take a part in non-formal education and training. Non-formal education and training. So we focus on that indicator. And the next number, in 5, gender quality, our indicator
awareness and protection organization. So what we used to do, which started before the pandemic, I was still in Puerto Princess, and then we organize events all throughout Palawan. So what we do is we organize gift-giving events, or we support organizations or other organizations events which caters to indigents in the far-flung areas of in Palawan. So we organize gift-giving, support in a medical mission, and along with that, we do environmental education because a few of the members in the team are working in the DNR, or the environmental government sector, and so we provide like educational, like lessons to kids, to the beneficiaries, and we also do what they call this, like cleanup drive during the event. So we're having that event to give back to the community, as well as taking care of our environment. And we're also having fun because we get to travel at the same time. So that's what we love about that organization. So yes, that's it. That's my share for a sample project that we may have that I'm actually looking forward to get to explore and experience in Cebu as well. Thank you.
Hi, Prince. Would you like to share from your end also?
I heard most of the projects here are related to environment and what we have in JCI Cebu Sinulog mostly.
Yep, group one, because you're in room one.
Okay. So if okay, we can make like a sample in Zero Hunger name project. I cannot write lah, Pak. Anyone can help me?
What? Cannot type?
Yeah.
Yeah. VP Kartini, can you assist?
I cannot type in the Google Doc. Hi Timothy, how are you? Long time no see. Timothy, are you with me?
Hi, class Nuka.
Can you help me?
What do you want me to type?
Okay. We are from group 1.
Yes.
Name of project is stunting.
So do you want me to do something like a slide presentation?
Yeah, but Miss Yuki give us the Google Doc to fill in.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Type in Google Doc.
Okay, I'm opening it. Okay. What do you want me to type it? Name of project Medan Zero.
Medan Zero stunting.
Wait, let me share screen so everyone knows what we are talking about. Okay, say Medan, of course. Involve SDGs first, I think. I think number 3, right?
Sorry, Kak. Kartini.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. What next? Goals number 3 ya. Zero hunger loh, Kak.
I think there's not only one goal.
We focus on one first lah, Kartini.
It should be number 2.
Yeah. It should be number 2. And then the target numbers is 2.2.
Okay.
2.2. It's about, can you summarize the target goals in 2.2? In 2020, in 2030, eliminate all form of malnutrition. Achieving the internationally agreed, achieving apa ya? Internationally agreed target for stunting and underweight children under 5-year age.
Okay, any more targets here?
2.1. It's about the target. Prevalencia. What is prevalencia? Oh yeah. Yeah. Cut. 2.2 in only until malnutrition. Cut. 2.2.1 it's about activity, prevalence of stunting. Short and very short in children under 5 years. That's my guess, yeah. Please, anyone, you can add on. And of course, goals number 4, quality education.
Anyway, personal, I think I have to go to the main room because there are new members are participating. So yeah, wait for a second.
Okay.
Hello, Pipi Yuki. Why am I calling you Pipi Yuki?
To write it in the Google Docs.
Remember the Google Doc.
Okay, so based on our discussion, we will just
Targets. 5 minutes to go. You need to fill it up, and we have a presentation later on.
Thank you. Everyone, you can add one number or one goals, and then put the indicators. Five minutes to go. Kartini, you can share. Kartini nggak bisa ya. Maybe I can share. Okay. Yeah, in group 1, my suggestion based on JCI Medan, we have like this.
Wait, I think someone miswrote. I think maybe this is from the other group. Okay. Okay, continue.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we write all of the goals first and then the targets? I think it will be faster this way.
Okay. The goals number 4. The goals number 4, quality education. We focus on indicator number 4.3.1. It's about non-formal education for 15 until 24 years old. Non-formal education. Yeah, and then 4.4.1, the indicators talking about youth with information and communication technology or ICT skills. Okay, and then goals number 5, gender equality. We focus on indicators number 2.5. The indicators about women and girls who have experience in physical, sexual, or psychological violence. And of course, the last, SDGs number 8. Yeah, the targets indicators 8.5.2. Unemployment for disability. Thank you, VP Kartini. Can anyone add Kartini, the name of project no Medan stunting loh, Kart. Every goals they have a name of project. Goals number 2, Medan zero stunting. Goals number 4, the other's title.
Sorry, not really understand.
Actually, name of project, it's not about Medan zero stunting, Medan
But-
zero stunting, it's only in goals number 2. How to write, yeah. Name of project is JCI Medan SDGs or JCI SDGs.
Do you mean like the whole goal is for
Yeah.
every project of JCI Medan?
Yeah. Goals number 2 is Medan zero stunting. Goals number 8, it's about disability.
Then we should create a different table then.
Yeah.
Because if you see the other example, right, there are certain projects and the goals.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
Okay, so Medan zero something is only covers up the goal number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't we just focus on Medan zero stunting? Because it's too wide if you put like every project's goals.
Okay, Kat, just tell Yuki we are finished.
How about your brief introduction of the project? Where is it?
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We will resume in 6 minutes time because the other group is also working. So Central Indonesia time at 9:30 and West Indonesia time at 8:30, if I have not mistaken the time zone.
Kartini. Okay.
Yes.
Add something. You already add. This is anyway. Okay. Cut. Oh. Movement to educate every month. malnutrition. Yes, Yuki, we are done.
Apart from goal number 2, do you think there are other goals that are related? For example, number 6, clean water and sanitation, maybe sustainable cities and communities as a society as a whole in providing adequate consumptions for each and every individual. Or maybe goals 12, responsible consumption and production.
Yeah. Correct.
Because they're all interconnected and linked in some ways.
I think 11 sounds related.
Sorry, Kartini. Okay, Kart. I think we put indicators. Number 6. The indicators. Wait, yeah. Number 6, Kak. Indicator 6.2.1. Goals number.
Is it number 11 or number 6? The goals.
Number 6, Kak. Number 6. Goals number 6, target 6.2.1. Proportion and population using safely managed sanitation.
Can you repeat in more slowly?
I already sent in chat box. Proportion of population using safely managed sanitation service. But
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a fruitful discussion with fellow members from other countries and exploring different SDGs and also different projects across countries. And I see that you are almost done, even though still typing, I see. A lot of anonymous are typing on my Google Doc now. So without further ado, can I invite group 2, which is responsible for coastal and ocean cleanups, to pick 1 or 2 person. Oh, someone just deleted the entire document. Okay, it's back. Can I invite group 2 coastal and ocean cleanups to have maybe 1 or 2 representatives to present the name of the project and a brief introduction of how the project is being operated, and also why are these goals chosen and why are the targets chosen? You can share the screen if you want. Group 2, who is up?
Our dear training director from JCI Cebu Sinulog would be presenting. The floor is yours, Stefan. Thank you.
Maybe I can do some introduction to you, training director.
Okay.
Okay, so last December 17, last year, we were hit by a super typhoon, and it actually caused 2 billion damage in the country, and the damage covers the land area because the Philippines is made most of the lands are really islands, and it caused so many damage, not just in the land area, but also livelihoods in the oceans and other areas of the country. So we thought of coming up with an activity that is very relevant to this after the super typhoon hit. And our training director will discuss to us how did it realized and what are the highlights of the event. Hi, training director Stephen. A big round of
Hello.
applause.
Thank you for the greeting, UVP Nan. We had that project. It was held around 3 weeks ago, where we visited a place in the coastlines of Mactan, and we really saw that it was badly damaged. Like all the wreckage was everywhere, and the corals were already gone since the typhoon really had a lot of force and really broke a lot of things. So there were really debris and trashes everywhere. So we had to clean up so that we could, since the water is really the livelihood of these people, and that's why we really have to clean up. And we went to that place, and we were there, and the people, like, our the one of our past president is actually a resident of the place, and like she really knows the place over there. So she was our point person, and she really appreciated our effort in saying like they weren't forgotten, and we went there to support them. And the support was it made them feel a bit better, even with the damages that happened on their livelihood. So we're really thinking of really having that cleanup so that we could, because not only is it like livelihood also, but it's also like tourism, and there's really a lot of things for that. So we're really planning for some future coastal cleanup. So for group 2, the discussion was really a lot of the coastal and ocean, like it was environment. And the hosting chapter could be there was also Senator San Kelvin, as he also mentioned the coastal cleanup in like East Java. So this could be like the hosting chapter could be a cleanup between JCI Cebu Sinulog and East Java. And in the cleanup, it's a simultaneous ocean and coastal cleanup. What we also did was we did diving, and what the residents told us that they're already in talks with like other universities so that they could plant corals, because those really got taken out. So it's also a cleanup and also a replenishing of the ocean. So the 3 goals listed is goal number 13, 14, 15, and 16. For 13, we're finding a way to really dispose trash. Like one of it is, if this could be done, like organic trash, we will use maggots to have less trash, and also to also funding, because really funding is important for us to do the events. Like the more money there is, the more things could be done. And there's also, for climate actions, hydroponics, greenhouse, and solar panels, where this makes it for their environment to be environmentally sustainable. Like when the typhoon also hit, there was no electricity there. and there was really nothing that could, but if there were solar panels and electricity, they could have been progressive. Also in UN SDG 13.3, like build knowledge and capacity for climate change, we could do this through education campaigns, like make people more aware of the ocean. I think the more people are aware of the importance of the coast and really hit them in the heart, then they would be more inspired to take action. So in goal number 14, below life below water, it was mentioned that there was really a lot of debris from the typhoon. So that needs to be taken care of. Like the waste are really harmful to the animals, and without the animals, with the ocean friends, it will be really lifeless. The ocean without the life would also be a big impact to the a lot of things like tourism, and also for the fishermen who fish for this. Community awareness of also the materials, the effects, and what we've also been working with, like professional divers, because these are the guys who can really go to the ocean and get those trash out. But at the same time, it's also a good experience for them. Like they enjoy the swimming part, like the diving. It's a good sport, and it's also a lot of tourists come in also just to casually dive, but it could also be a diving for a cause. And that's one of the few projects that we've also did with JCI Cebu Sinulog, like diving for a cause. Life on land. So we need to conserve the ecosystem. I mean, the water also is also our source of food and consumption, and really a lot of life on the land targets is for the consumption, like those who rely on the coast. We need to protect it, so we need to protect these animals, and because sometimes what affects also the ocean also affects the land, so we have to protect those. For goal 16, a lot of it is really about partnerships. Like we could see here, like partnerships with government and NGOs, partnerships with interest groups and also local associations and fisher folks, and also partnerships with the community. So it's really a holistic partnership where we could funds and knowledge and expertise from the government and other NGOs, and also really prioritize in helping the, like really prioritized by those who are currently really interested in a lot of sea things, like ocean things. We could really tap to them and ask for help from them, and they could help because they're already interested in this part. And the last part is really the community, which if we can make the people over there like have a good source of living and a good clean surrounding, that would really be really helpful for them. So I think this is a project that's close also to both GCI Cebu Sinulog and GCI East Java. So we'll see that this gets pushed through. Thank you for the floor, OC.
Thank you, Stephen and Nell. And moving up next, we have group 1, but now group 3, to introduce your projects, the brief introduction, and the involved SDGs and targets. You can share the screen as they do, or you can have Stephen to continue to share as well.
Okay. Ini me share screen. Thank you. So this is our project. Actually, this project was 2 years ago. And what we have done in Medan Zero Stunting. What is Medan Zero Stunting? Medan Zero Stunting is a medical condition when the children have impaired development in their physique and intelligence. As a stunting rate in Indonesia getting higher, especially in Sumatera Utara, in the critical level. So we aim to start the movement to educate every moms, especially in remote area or suburban area. What target that we focus on? What is 2.2, 2.2, 2.1 is the indicators. It is the national indicator. So our SDGs program based on national and local program. So in the first year, in 2019, we do a research and analysis about the area and then the situation. And in the second years, we educate, or we call it train the trainer for educator, stunting educator. We collaborate partnership with one of the hospital in Medan. So we training young people to understand and then to facilitate the moms and the moms from underprivileged. We create a volunteer. After we create the volunteer in the second year, we identify the activity. In second years, we point on area that we focus on development in stunting program. In this year, in 2022, we have the opportunities to collaborate with the local NGO like Mirs Foundation, like I mentioned before. They also join in our training, so enjoy. They are local NGO who focus on the women empowerment and for women empowerment and non-formal education. We hope we can deliver this program in April as our timeline. After we discuss with Yuki, you can put indicators or goals number 6 about the clean water and sanitation in the stunting. And we thought this is correct because in that area, we call it Sungai Deli Riverside. They bath, they wash the cloth, wash the dishes in the same place in that river. So we also put goals number 6 on the Medan Zero Stunting with focus on indicator 6.2.1 about the proportion of population using safely managed sanitation, and of course indicators 6.2.2. It's about It's about proportion of domestic and industrial wastewater flows safely treated. So our project based on national indicators. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Press and Group 1 and VP Kartini for sharing the document. Let me remove the spotlight for Press first. So I guess you all have listened to different chapters and different projects, how they do things. And I will now move back on to this website, which is what I want to comment on Group 2. When we talked about the assignment, it's more of identifying the goals and also the targets. But for the targets that you now write, it's more of goals and objectives. They are not targets from the SDGs. So how do you find the targets? It's actually when you pull down, you can see the detailed goals and the targets here. For example, if you further do your project in the later time, you can actually look into the targets and look into what the things are more important and to make sure you're actually addressing the right target here. Just some reference. Okie doke. Back to my PowerPoint slides. So moving up next, I will share to you one more project that I've done for my local chapter in 2017 and also introduce how I place SDGs into my own business. So this project that I've done in 2017, it's called Carindera 2017 Fashion Abled. So when you hear the word fashion abled, you might sound very odd because you don't really have a word like that. But the abled at the back is actually meaning for disabled. In Hong Kong, disabled people are not treated very right. For example, they only have very minimal and also necessary needs that are being addressed. For example, for disabled people in Hong Kong, they cannot find any place for some beautiful or accessible clothing that are at a good pricing. For example, if you have a person that is on a wheelchair and they want to wear a chiffon dress or they want to wear a suit, basically, they cannot find any brands in Hong Kong that does any fashion designs in Hong Kong that are for disabled people. So in this project, we actually identified 10 fashion design students from university and also 10 disabled people from different categories. Some mental disease, some are wheelchairs, some are blind people, some are people with death, or maybe some are people without an arm. And we these for the 10 able people and identify what are their needs in clothing. The 10 fashion that in the market to design a budget clothing for them. So the objective is to build self-confidence disabled and also arouse social awareness to the needs of the disabled, ultimately to promote social inclusion and also reduce inequality. And I do think this is one of the projects that is the most remarkable in my JC life when it's COVID-19. And these are some photos from the project. This is an interesting project. For example, for the photo on the left, you see that this man is actually on a wheelchair and he actually wants to have a suit. But if you're on a wheelchair and you're trying to wear a suit, basically you cannot move your hands because the suit, the blazer is gonna restrict you with the movements, right? So for this girl, she actually made a suit which is with different materials, and at the back, because the blazer is actually worn in two sides, and then there is a little button at the back, and then it plugs in together. So this person can actually wear this blazer and in the meantime control his wheelchair. And then bottom of the photo, there is a very pretty lady, which is called Rabbi, and she's a very beautiful designer as well, but a visual art designer. And she's a fan of chiffon dress. But because she got an injury a few years ago and she was not able to walk anymore, and she's now on a wheelchair. And in that case, she cannot wear a chiffon dress anymore, because for a chiffon dress, you cannot wear it because it will be tangled in the wheelchair, right? So the student actually designed a chiffon dress which is only in front of her legs, not a round shaped one. It's just a string wrapping on her waist. And then there's also this photo on the right corner. You see a blind person, which is in a chef outlook. And he's actually a chef before his injury happened. He was very that have a chef clothing, and there's a lot of bags in his thighs and also in his jacket to make sure all the equipments are actually put in place, but it's also fashionable in some sense. And at the meantime, we had this competition where all the models will have to go for a catwalk, and then the most outstanding free students will be rewarded. And these students were actually rewarded with a scholarship to open a disabled fashion line after they graduate, and also a lifetime consultation by the professional fashion designers. So you can see that projects can be actually very, very creative, and which also creates opportunities for the students to explore different career paths and also explore
different needs of different groups of people, really doing the reduce inequality goal. And at the meantime, we actually also had a bazaar right next to the catwalk show, and all products actually made by the disabled during the booth are also disabled people. And now my same are the goals in my project. There's one that is very obvious. Please type in the chat room, what are the SDGs involved in this project called Fashion Abled? Obviously. What else? Number 4. Any more? I have different parties in this project. And also doing something about money as well. 10, 17, number 3, number 8, number 9, okie doke. So at this project, we actually based on these 4 the most, decent working economic growth, because for the needs of the disabled people, there's also a market there. There's a market need. So there's demand and supply. And reduce inequalities, of course, inclusion of all genders, all disabled people into the society, and also creating a sustainable city and community for everyone to be included inside, and also partnership for the goals. So these are the goals that were involved. Next up, when Willie approached me to talk about this talk, he would actually ask me, apart from applying SDGs into the project in JCI, what else did I apply SDGs towards? Actually, it's my business. If you have seen my icon in the Zoom, you can actually see there's a photo in blue, which is me on the right-hand side. What I do for my business and also for my living, I'm actually the Chief Operating Officer of Mermaid Federation International, and we are actually the world's first organization writing for professional mermaids and underwater performance arts, from a leisure sport to professionally performing underwater, and to instructor trainings and school managements. And we actually operate in different countries and cities around Asia Pacific now, Hong Kong, China, Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, and etc. And on to the point is, because of JCI, I got to know what are SDGs, and I actually put SDGs into my business. Before I start, I will introduce a little bit about my vision and mission for the company. So there are actually 4 vision and mission in my company now. The first one is to raise awareness to ocean conservation, not just people going underwater being a performer to only care about ocean conservation, but ocean conservation should be something that everyone should care about. Second of all, to promote recreational and professional mermaid activities with mermaid qualifications, writing our courses step by step. Moving onwards to research and advice, safety guidelines of how is safety being done underwater to make sure all our models and our mermaids are safe underwater with the photographers, with the safety team, and with the audience. And last but not least, to develop scientific mermaid training courses and competition standards. So this is actually our brief overview of our courses. And you might be very surprised of how mermaid courses can be so diverse. And yes, we are the first one writing this diverse course, like how you learn free diving or scuba diving, which Philippines are very known of, especially when you're in Cebu. A lot of people do scuba diving, free diving in Cebu. And for us, we do mermaid courses on Seoul, and we actually have 4 main courses that we have on the list. The first one is M0, which is a mermaid experience class, 2 or 3 hours just to experience how does it feel to be on a tail with a fin to swim like a mermaid. Onto level 1, we have basic mermaid course, which is the first step in transforming in a mermaid. And if you pass the course, you'll be able to perform basic performance routine in static and dynamic mode. And we will have 1 theory class, 1 studio class, and 3 pool sessions. And then on to level 2, it's advanced mermaid course, where we actually need our students to be able to perform both on a tail and without a tail, on your own and with a partner, and also design in
write your own underwater dance routine, which is around 2 minutes. And then on to level 3, which is Master Mermaid. We train people how to become a movie director, to plan for a mermaid performance, how to plan for a mermaid shooting program. For example, we actually have a lot of performances in aquariums now, and maybe you see some music videos, MVs are with underwater shots. And these are the things that we learn in M3. And then onto the specialty, we have Ocean Mermaid, Junior Mermaid, Guardian of Mermaid Safety, Photographer of Mermaid Safety, and SDG Mermaids, which I will pick the SDG Mermaid and Junior Mermaid out for some explanation how I put SDGs into it. And then this is a little ladder that how you climb up from a student to an instructor. You can see the M0 to M3 are here. And then onto BMI, which is the basic mermaid instructor, and then the specialty instructors and mermaid instructors. And you might be very familiar with this if you learn diving courses. And we also wrote an ocean pledge that all students and instructors and all stakeholders in our party needs to pledge. So these are the SDGs that my company actually applied the most in. The first one is number 3, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, innovation, life below water, peace, and also partnership for the goals. So I will give you a little glance of our course content, how I actually put SDG into a money earning course, which is called SDG Mermaid. So all my students and my mermaids are actually from different countries, and they are very fancy. They love the aerial, they love to play underwater and perform underwater. But we always think that they need a story to talk about when they're presenting themselves to the public. For example, if you're an instructor, you need to market yourself and you need to brand yourself. So basically, we wrote this course called SDG Mermaid that the instructors and the students can apply for, and they need to write a proposal on picking one SDG and to design a project to execute in their community. Take a guess. What will the mermaids do when they're assigned with this task? You need to finish a course, pick a goal, and then have a proposal, and you need to do it out, and you need to give me evaluation report, basically JCI stuff. And what they turn out is, they actually did something very interesting. They actually approached with some swimming pools and some kindergartens, and they did some mermaid storytelling with the kids like this. They were in their tails, and then they talked stories and also talk about ocean conservation. And this is one of the example. And then second example is they actually acquired some aquariums which are a little bit old and dusty. And then they turned the aquarium into a performing tank and made the aquarium a second life. For the left one, it's actually an aquarium in China, in Shenzhen. And it was a really, really old aquarium that no one would ever go because it's too small. And our mermaids actually wrote a proposal to the aquarium and said, oh, actually, I can do something new with your aquarium. How about you don't have to buy big fish? Just stop buying big fishes. We are fishes ourselves. Maybe I can do training and also do performances at your tank. And then you can invite kids, students to come over and watch our performance. And they actually interact with the kids and the students at the mirror in here, the window here. And sometimes they will do something with storylines. For example, a mermaid throwing a lot of rubbish, and then the other mermaid is scolding another mermaid. So there's a storyline like watching a movie. And then this photo is actually in Guangzhou, one of the aquariums as well. And the photo on the right is actually an aquarium in Taiwan. And you can see that there are a lot of kids watching, and the mermaids are actually interacting with all the students along. And basically in this sense, they're actually not learning any course or any skills, but they are using the framework of SDGs. But most of them chose SDG 14, of course, life below water. Yeah, and this one is more of the quality education. And there's also one mermaid in Hong Kong. She's an actress herself and also a KOL influencer. She actually made an MV promoting ocean conservation. And these are some shoots from her video. And upcoming next, how can you apply quality education into your business? For example, when we talk about mermaids, it has to be beautiful, it has to be appealing, right? But how do you become
appealing and beautiful underwater when the makeup actually is not waterproof. Try imagine yourself having a makeup and then you go to a pool for a swim and then your eyeline, your mascaras will be all gone, right? So in our course, we actually teach these stuff as well. For example, we teach them what are the things that you need to be cautious of when you're doing a makeup. For example, how do you use a face chart? How to design and test your makeup look? What color works well with you? And if you're doing this theme, what color do you use? If you're a Halloween theme, it's black. If it's a Christmas theme, it's more reddish or maybe greenish stuff. And then on to the technical part of how to actually put the face gems and the jewelries onto your body. How do you do the face paint? How do you do your contouring in a waterproof sense? And how is waterproof being made? And these are something that we actually looked into it and then wrote into a course content. And also sunscreen, which are the ones that are waterproof, which are the ones that are good for the environment and not pollute the water, the ocean, or the pool. And then the next course that I'm going to share you a little bit about in my company, which is the Junior Mermaid course. For the adult course, we teach more of the skills and also their abilities and performance levels. But for kids, for Junior Mermaids, we don't just teach skills, but we also teach more of the ocean conservation, because according to our research, a lot of the school syllabus in kindergarten or primary school, they actually don't teach a lot about the ocean. They don't teach a lot about the nature. So what we did is we actually teach the students actually what is a tuna, what's a fish, what's a shark, what's a turtle. And a lot of the students actually don't know when we have these cards out. And these cards are actually designed by students as well, secondary students. And they draw these cards for us to teach people how do we differentiate each and every sea animal. And we also do cue cards to do recycling. For example, kitchen waste, other trash, metals and glass, paper, e-waste, and plastic, and the instructors will print it out and then put the relative boxes into these. Yep. So basically, in a nutshell, I actually explained a little bit about my chapter, how I do projects and what are the projects from the before, and also taught you guys how to find the right SDG logos and how do you download the SDG logos in a high resolution, and also looked into the 5 Ps, the 17 goals, and the 169 targets, which I hope later on when you do projects, you will actually dig out the targets that are relative to your own project. And also I introduced a little bit about my projects in my own chapter, the Business on Salato's APAC Female Entrepreneur Ride, which this year we actually going global. Last year it was APAC. This year it will be a global scale, and we're inviting chapters from other regions as well. And then you guys had a little challenge that you have to dig out all the goals and also all the targets related to your projects, which I think group 2 can dig a little bit more with the targets, more specific. And I also introduced another interesting project that I've done physically in Hong Kong in 2017, the Fashionabled. And last but not least, introduce a little bit about my business. So this is the end of my presentation. Do you guys have any questions or things that you want to ask from me, or how do you feel so far? Is it easier to know about the SDGs now? Is it not so hard now? It can be really fun.
Amazing, amazing. Your SDGs mindset, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Last time when I worked with press, it's actually a project from JCI Hong Kong called SDG Pioneers. And we actually grouped around 10 countries, right? I think almost that. And then each NOM actually gave out around 10 to 15 SDG pioneers from their country. And they were spread into 17 groups, which is the 17 goals. And they had to discover how this goal is doing in all the countries that they have in the group. And also identify a common problem or a common issue that has not been tackled so far, and to create a project that suits all countries regarding on this goal. So their tasks were actually pretty challenging. Yeah. At that time, goal number 3 was the easiest one. because it was COVID-19.
That's my group.
Exactly. What's my personal inspiration in conceptualizing the projects? I would say conceptualizing the projects in JCI is very fruitful because not all the times you can settle an issue with your workplace. And not every time you can meet people that are very willing and very helpful into solving a problem or helping a problem out. And in JCI, you can meet people from different backgrounds, different age, but they have a common goal. For example, in Hong Kong, I'm not sure why, but for our chapters, each chapter has a very distinctive style or a distinctive focus onto some community issues. For example, my chapter works on more on youth development, female entrepreneurship, gender equality, that kind of thing. And for members entering the chapter, a lot of them share the same passion, or even they actually studied girls' schools back then in high school. And so they actually have a lot of inspirations and a lot of common stuff that they feel on one thing. The reason why there was the business on Salatos last year was because we saw that a lot of entrepreneurs around the world, but because of COVID-19, they were unable to expand their businesses. They were unable to reach out from their horizons, from their local place. So we were thinking, even though it's COVID-19, we cannot travel around, but with Zoom, we can actually do a lot of things. So why not we can go something online in a very extreme sense and collab with other female chapters from other countries. And actually for the 11 female local chapters, half of them are actually people that I've never met, never contacted, and there were no connections between the two chapters. And I basically established like 11 new sister chapters, but they're sisters, not brothers. And for the entire project, it actually had around 100 working force, maybe 10 working team from each local chapter. And they were promoting and also giving a lot of inputs from their own country. And even for the judges and also for the speakers, they are from different countries with very different aspects. For example, when I was doing the APAC Business Info Day, I was actually very amazed of how making business can be so different in so many countries, even for maybe like Malaysia or Philippines, for example. When you're in part of this Philippines and that Philippines, making business for foreign people are actually very different, and the taxation are very different. And because of the APAC Info Day, we were actually having some entrepreneurs able to look for these and really expanded their business with the speaker. And they really had their business expanded without flying over. So I do think this is the fascination and the interesting point about JCI is you can do something very different and do something beyond your reach in your own work and environment. Yeah. Any more questions, or is there anything that you want to know about me? Feel free to ask, or we can chat along as well, of course.
Yuki, for disability program that you presented before, is it still being implemented in this year or for this
it's
year?
only a 1-year project.
1-year project, yeah. No development in this, or yeah, in this year. Yuki, you are freeze or my signal?
For the disabled people, that one is actually a one-off project because
Hello, Yuki, you are freeze.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah. Bad connection. I heard your question was our disabled project still going on, right? Yeah. Actually, our project name is called Care and Dare, which is an abbreviation from CD, Community Development. So for our Care and Dare brand, we actually do and also tackle different issues every year. For example, 1 year it's having these secondary students doing and social entrepreneurship proposal bidding. 1 year is focusing
on the menstrual cycle of a woman and how we should embrace our menstrual cycles. 1 year is on the disabled people. So basically we tackle different issues with the Care and Dare brand, but the organizing team from that year actually continues behind the scene. For example, we are still assisting the students with their fashion brand that they establish after they get the scholarship.
Hello, Christy. Are you there? Would you like to share your experience during the business on Stelitos APAC Female Entrepreneur Award? Would you like to share something?
Yes. Are you referring me? I am Christy from JCI India.
Yes.
Yes.
Can
Yeah,
you
it was a
describe how
very
was your
pleasant
experience?
experience. Yes. I also participated in APSC Female Entrepreneur this competition, and I'm happy that I got shortlisted among I guess some 28 finalists were selected, and I'm also one of the finalists. And the questions or the sections what you have asked in APAC Female Entrepreneurship Contest, actually it helped me to think again about my business, whether I am going in the right way or not. Of course, we were doing a kind of quality education and a dignity of work. So this kind of sustainable development goals we were actually implementing, but I was not knowing that it was actually connected with SDG. So this competition actually helped me to fine tune my vision, mission, and then I'm able to like channelize different activities of my business also. So by just participating in the contest. So I am very thankful to Hong Kong JCS, and they have given us a wonderful opportunity to collaborate with female participants all over the world. So I want to meet all of you, provided there is an opportunity once this COVID situation is over. So definitely, I would like to meet personally all of you. You are doing a wonderful job from Hong Kong as well as JCI Medan. They are doing a wonderful job. So we have to learn a lot of things from you. So even during COVID situation, you are just keeping on motivating us, inspiring us. Yes, we can still do inspiring things. So I'm very thankful to you, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Christy. I hope you enjoyed the program as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, actually, our project was done in a very low budget because it was the first year doing it. So what you see on the screen for the entire project are done by all our organizing team with their own computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a question, are you a human or a mermaid? I'm a human on land and a mermaid underwater. And how is the succession planning being applied in our project? I would say succession planning in a project in JCI, it's more of a chapter planning. Each chapter has to have a very good long-term planning committee that they can plan what is the focus and what is the scope that they want the chapter to work on. For example, Business on Salatos and Karen Dare is actually the brand and the scope that we work with every year. For example, Karen Dare, we tackle different community issues every year. Business on Salatos is more of the female entrepreneurship. For example, last year it was a Asia Pacific Female Entrepreneur Award. The year before last year, it was a series of successful women talking about how they do business and also some trainings. And in 2019, it was the first female entrepreneurship award in Hong Kong.
So the succession in planning, it's more of how you plan your chapter as a whole and what your members are interested to do as an organizing team. For example, some chapters are very interested in caring about maybe the children, maybe about the elderlies. So you need to find the interest of your members and what fascinates them to enter the chapter. Therefore, you do something that tackles problems or issues that they care about. For example, it's very hard to ask a member that is only an employer or employer to talk about entrepreneurship. Or maybe it's very hard for an entrepreneur to do some projects on a mother or elderlies. So you need to find what are the interest points of your own members, therefore to do something that they are overall interested to work with continuously. And also succession with the project also relies on the team. For example, one project is being done by a team. You need to make sure this team has 1 or 2 people that continues with the next year's team and the next year's team. So it makes sure that that person actually were in the team last year and they are familiar of how things work out. What were the pain points? What were the attractive points to your audience? And therefore they can continue and to evaluate. And last but not least, a good evaluation report to make sure you evaluate the entire project when you finish the entire thing and see, is there any adjustments that you need to make next year? Yeah. Any more questions? If not, maybe we can take a group photo together and open our cameras.
All right, maybe before having the group photo, we have something to share to our beautiful mermaid here. Okay, so this is the e-certificate presented to the beloved mermaid from Hong Kong, Miss Yuki. Thank you for sharing the insightful sharing sessions of how to apply SDGs in our project and the sample of the very inspiring SDGs project from your side as well.
Thanks for having me.
I'm personally super inspired by your mermaid company. It's makes me speechless. Okay, so I think we shall move on to the group photo session. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please turn on all your camera because we would like to see the handsome and beautiful humans here. All right. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, another photo. 3, 2, 1. All right, that's all for today. Thank you for participating in this training.